turning out to be a red letter night in Washington Redskins history because, the Redskins, as of now, are going to have a new name. And the question is, what will that name be? Everyone is wondering and guessing and trying to figure it out. This has been talk and speculation since at least the 3rd of July of this year, right? Now, this isn't the first time I've been through this. I can remember this came up, I believe, 10 years ago. And it was, okay, change the name, time to change the name. And there was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of excitement that the Redskins name was going to be changed to something else. And Dan Snyder never pulled the trigger. It never came to pass. So I was all for it. I thought he just sort of chickened out myself. But you know what? The old guards, to put it kindly, won out. And guess what? Hey, it didn't come to pass. Okay, as you know, it did not come to pass. This time, in the wake of the death of George Floyd and the murder of George Floyd and the subsequent protests and riots and everything else that's happened in Breonna Taylor, hello, Michael. This is a different situation. And Adam Schefter put a bow on this process by announcing that the Redskins will have a different name for the 2020 NFL season by preseason. Only 2 games preseason. Not quite sure when preseason is going to start now yet. So my purpose here is to, first of all, find out what you think about all this, and then also just look at the possible names that are being considered here. All right. And just get your view. So let's start with that right now. Welcome, and everybody else. And I'm going to start right now with this presentation. And here we go. This, and I'm going to break this clear, okay? This is on Twitter under Redskins' new name, as you can see. It says, here are 5 potential options for a new name for the Washington Redskins. Hey, Raider SP. Hey, I will subscribe to your YouTube video channel, by the way. Can I do that right now? Wait a minute. He says, hey, Zenny. And then I say, hey. And then it says, hey, Miguel. And then he says, I think Washington Posts. That's interesting, like the newspaper. But at any rate, Washington Wizards. I like Red Tails. My mom thought it was a stupid name. I like Red Tails. I also like, there's the Washington Federals or the Senators. I like the Washington Senators because it's political, right? They can always make a deal. I mean, translate that into calling a game. The Senators are negotiating their way down the field. The Senators make a deal for extra yardage. You can have a lot of fun with that one, right? The Washington Griffiths, that loses me. Is that like Andy Griffith or what is that? And then, of course, the aforementioned Washington Warriors. All right, so you have choices. Raiders SP, of course, said he thinks Washington Posts. What else do you guys think out there? I happen to like Redskins. I like Senators. I like Warriors. Red Tails has a nice name because it's in the spirit of the African American reawakening, as I choose to call it. But my mom says Red Tails is stupid. She says, why would you want to name a football team after a plane? That's what my mom said. Why would you want? Kiyomura Coleman says Washington Natives. Now, you know what? Why do that? I mean, natives. Washington Natives. You know what, though? Actually, I like that. I like that. The Natives. Washington Natives. The Natives defense is restless. Downs the running back for a 4-yard loss. There are all these names you just have this fun with. The natives. You know, Dak Prescott sacked by the natives. That has a nice ring to it. I mean, that's how you have to think of it, right? James Harper loves red tails. And Raiders SP says, let me get all this up here because I'm being lame, all right? He likes the post as Raiders SP, all right? Keelmore says the natives, as we were joking about the natives, sack Dak Prescott, right? And then Raiders SP says the only reason why they're doing it is because sponsors are telling them when it affects Snyder's money, he will change. I don't give them much credit. We've been saying that changed for decades. I understand. But here's the thing. James Harper says, I love red tails. And it's got a nice ring to it, the Washington Red Tails. Because you could actually keep, technically, if you had Washington Red Tails, you could keep the Redskins logo, right, with the tail and everything, and just modify it a little bit. It would be no muss, no fuss. Bring in the Tuskegee Airmen, and boom, you're ready. You're very welcome. And Miguel says, I agree with red tails sounds honorable to the Tuskegee Airmen. Yep. Korey Brown. Hey, Korey, what's up? Korey says, Washington Monuments. I like the Washington Monuments too. Washington Monuments to, you know what though? If they have a losing record mid-year, they'll be the Washington Monuments to failure. The neat thing about this is that we'll find out real quick how much of a ring this really has when announcers start putting into practice. You see these puns flying around all over the place. And this says Washington Lightning. I like that too. The Washington Lightning struck the Dallas Cowboys 40-0. I like that. The Washington Lightning strike the Minnesota Vikings. You have a poster of all these Norsemen going because they got struck, right? Or how would you do it with the Senators? It's like the Senators are dealing with the Vikings. The Senators are, how would you put it? The Senators have defeated the Raiders. The Senators defeated the Raiders. That makes sense. I had this vision of these like book smart dudes just beating the crap out of these pirates, you know? I'm just saying. Dudettes too. Dudettes can lay a whipping on you today too. Don't forget. But still, let me. James says you can keep the hashtag to HTTR with red tails. That's true. I like that. Raiders SP says, you think the Cowboys are next to the Saints or the Browns? I don't think any of them. The Cleveland Browns are for Paul Brown. Why would you want to change the name? I mean, you can't change the name. The Cleveland Browns are named after a dude, Paul Brown. That's the whole purpose, okay? The Saints, someone talked about the history and everything else. I don't know that. The Saints come marching in. I'll look that up right now. If somebody has a link they want to send to me, actually you can't. Let me see something here. New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints. I'm going to put New Orleans accent. And I'm scrolling down to find out what the talk is. New Orleans Saints faced harsher consequences for bounties in a football game than the Russians did for offering money to kill troops. Yep. How long before the New Orleans Saints name is offensive? How long before Catholic schools can't call themselves the Crusaders? This is madness. This is tyranny. And they're coming for all of us. I've seen this before and it doesn't end well. Oh, shut up. Jeez Louise. This is like, some of the takes on this are ridiculous. People just want, they want a different name. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, look, if it's a name that somebody else doesn't like, just change the doggone thing, figure out something else and be done with it. Cowboys stands the test of time beyond measure. And Korey Brown says the impeachments. The impeachments. eviscerated the Cowboys. The impeachments impeached the Eagles. I like that. You can't lose with, well, they could impeach themselves, but you can't lose with that, right? The impeachments. It sounds like the Temptations. Yeah, what they do. They just play football. Anyway, let me stop. I love that. All the time they're going to take your place just like stabbers. Backstabbers. Anyway, smile in your face. How about the Temptations? The Washington Wait a minute. Let me write that down. The Washington Temptations. Temptations. I rather like that. The Washington Temptations. I mean, look. The Washington Temptations. Hold on a second. The Washington Temps. You gotta like that. What they do, they just win games all the time throughout the season, man. All they're doing, win games. This is no, folks. I've had nothing to drink. I haven't had any. There's nothing like that at all. If anything, it doesn't warm up here. But at any rate, hey, John Alcala. John says, how about the Washington Federals? I like that. When it absolutely, positively has to be there overnight. FedEx, right? Washington Federals, FedEx Field, Federal Express. It has a nice ring to it. Hey, FedEx is already paying in. They'd love it. The Federals. Everybody get great deals on their FedEx gift packages and everything come Christmas time. Awesome. John Alcala says, all right, I like that. I like that, John. But I like smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. I mean, this is the Temptations. I mean, can you imagine like coming out instead of, a standard introduction? The Temptations introduction would be, them coming out in formation, in uniform, right? Oh, dudes in uniform. Just you wouldn't have to have any words. Just have them coming out. Just that's it. I love it. This is fun stuff. This is killing me. Okay, so we've got. Let's see. Let's go down the line of what we've got as names. Okay. Officially, these are the ones that are being considered. All right, that's Warriors, Red Tails, Federals, or Senators, Griffiths, and of course the Washington Skins. That's what it says, Skins, which is not really much of an improvement on anything. I wouldn't do that. So, and then we have your favorites. You've got the Federals by John Alcala. We've got the Politicians by raidersep. Philly says Washington Senators. The name has history of that city with the former baseball franchise. I like it. The Impeachments has a nice ring to it. Call Nixon. Hey, call Trump. Well, wait a minute. He's there. And so we've got what else? We have the aforementioned impeachments. Korey Brown just came through with the filibusters. Yo, hey, get out of the huddle. The filibusters huddle too much, right? That's perfect. Get out of the freaking huddle. Stop talking. They would fill it. You could see them actually filibuster. You know what? Filibuster a game. Seriously, they could do that. Raiders just no, they can't use Warriors' name because we have it in the NBA. Well, but wait a minute. How many teams in pro sports have the same name? All right. I mean, that's the question we have. And it's very difficult to find. Well, of course, you have the Reds. You have the Sox, right? You have the White Sox, the Red Sox. Of course, they're different by the fact that they're white and red. You've got the Cardinals, of course. You have the St. Louis Cardinals in football, but did I say that? They were almost that for a time. You have the Arizona Cardinals in football, but then you have the St. Louis Cardinals in baseball, right? So you have the Cardinals. There's one example. So, it's doable, maybe, possibly, you know, kind of. I still like, I'm sorry, I still like smile in your face all the time. We don't take your place just like stabbers, backstabbers. Anyway, let's see, what else is John Davis, make sure he got in there. Red Tail. That's his vote for Red Tail. The question is, all right, now that we're talking about that, though, what are other people saying about it on Twitter? And let's go over there and have some fun, with what's going on with what they're saying, right? John Davis says, Washington Native Americans. That's long, man. The Washington Native Americans. I like that. You can call them the Nat Ams, right? Washington. Hold on a second. Washington Nat Ams, like that. The Washington Nat Ams is shorter. The Native Americans. The Native Americans are just muscling their way down the clock. Something like that. It just doesn't fit. It's a mouthful. You ideally want one name. You don't want something so like, I like this, the Capitals. Hey, Ted Leonsis owns the Washington Capitals in hockey. I have a feeling Ted would maybe be all for it, Only one way to find out is to ask him. Say, hey, Ted, what do you think about the Washington Capitals? In fact, let's do this. Let's go to Twitter and see, first of all, Redskins. Let's scroll down and see what's happening here. We got to get put this back in its rightful place and then go back to Twitter and see. Okay, got that. Fake Team says, I hear y'all looking for a new team. How about Red Tails? I like that. That's beautiful, isn't it? The name Red Tails celebrates. Hey, welcome to Zenny 62, everybody. Celebrates the Tuskegee Airmen, who were the first African-American military aviators in the U.S. Armed Forces. The nickname Red Tails comes from their planes, to which my mom said, it's stupid to name a football team after planes. At any rate, Alyssa Milano says, this cause is close to my heart. Please sign #NotYourMascot. Change the name of the Washington Redskins. The Washington Redskins exposed their hypocrisy recently while tweeting out Blackout Tuesday in support of Black Lives Matter. Okay, we get it. I get it. I'm not being, I don't intend to be derisive when I say that, all right? But my point is, look, bluntly, I'm just going to say this bluntly, okay? Even though I think what's happening is really interesting and cool, you can't argue but that there are a number of people using this moment to latch on to it their own pet projects. Okay, that's just a fact. This happens to be one of them because technically this has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter, does it? It has nothing to do with police brutality, does it? Right? Okay, but we are in this era where people are wanting to shatter glass all over. It's like, hey, that person's breaking glass over here. Let's break glass over there, and so on and so on and so on. And that's what's going on here. And it's in the middle of a pandemic where people feel like it's end times in some cases. I don't. It's in the middle of a situation where people in some cases don't know where their money is coming because of the government and its ineptitude, because of the continued collapse of company after company after company. All right. There's a lot of chaos in the air. And so I think psychologically, and the number of people think, hey, why don't I just add to the chaos? Do this because it's just in its time to do. All right. And I go back to something I said before, and I'll present it as an example once again. 15 years ago, I was at a tech dinner with a friend of mine, Kathy Brooks. Love her very much. Awesome lady. And I was describing an argument that I witnessed, and I used the term catfight, and she said, don't ever use that term again. And the first time I've used that term in 15 years was over the past week to describe why I stopped using it, because of my love and respect for my friend. Okay, my friend was insulted. It was considered sexist. It was a growing thing then. I didn't know that. But you know what I did? I didn't argue. I pivoted. So, hey, look, time to pivot, okay? Time to pivot. And so basically now Brownlee says, so this is suddenly racist. July 6th. Yeah. Yeah. Mark it. This is suddenly racist. It was racist for a long time. It wasn't just now. Okay. It wasn't like, oh, today. Oh, heavens. It's like now. No, it was, this has been a thing for some time, frankly. Bo and Lee, this is not a new thing. I don't know how old you are. This has been going on for quite some time. It really has. It's not a new thing. And so he says, so anyway, Ray says, we should collab. Possibility, man. And yeah, quite a possibility. We'll talk about it. And then we've got, excuse me, the whatever is clever writes, so Bo and Lee suddenly started paying attention July. Touche. Hey, get on the damn camera and join us.
Okay, give me a few minutes because I'm just gonna connect my bags for the afternoon.
All right, see ya.
Late afternoon.
All right, see ya. Anyway, I was Joseph Almenduras. Philly born and raised. How long do you think it will be before the Cleveland Indians and the Atlanta Braves will be forced to change their names? I think the writing is on the wall. Both should have happened some time ago. Because again, look, I go back to my example. Don't call something that somebody else believes is offensive. All right? And I don't know the origin. I grew up not even having to think about, well, why are the Cleveland Indians called that, right? I did believe, however, that Chief Redface was kind of a weird looking thing. And then that was when I was little. And fortunately, a number of Indian representatives came up and said, that's offensive because you're making fun of a chief. And you know what? Boom. Okay. So how long do I think the Atlanta Braves should be called? How about named after a bird? How about the Atlanta Eagles? That's a lousy ring. How about the Atlanta Artisans? That's modern. The Atlanta Artisans. The Atlanta Artisans just painted a touchdown. Well, wrong sport. They painted a home run. The Atlanta Artisans painted a home run. How's that? I'll work on it. That's a work in progress. It's fun for me. And you know what? Name changes should be thought of as like relocation agreements. You know why? Because when you make the change, you make money. Why? Because there's always going to be these people out here who want to be first. You know what I'm saying? Getting the jersey, first getting the logo design markers, first, and they can resell it and do all these other neat things and make some coin, right? Hey, maybe there'll be a coin made after it. And these days, you never know. Okay. So we've got Bowen says he's 36. You're young. You're young. I've got you by 20 years plus 2. So you're young. And he says, everything politicized. I can't handle it. Don't. This is politicizing. Oh my God. I just don't know what to do. Politicizing. Come on, man. Look. Before you were born, things were politicized, okay? I mean, look, you want an example? Look at the creation of the hydrogen bomb. That was politicized. Look at what happened with J. Robert Oppenheimer, who was quite interested in the Communist Party. And then look what Edward Teller did to him, the co-father of the hydrogen bomb, although some would say the only father. I detest that because of what Edward Teller did to J. Robert Oppenheimer in trying to get him branded as a communist. during the McCarthy era, okay? Our lives are politicized, okay? Stop this. Everything is politicized like you just figured it out because it's sports. Sports has always been politicized. Need I remind you of Jesse Owens at 1936 Olympics? Okay. Come on, man. Everything is politicized. Muhammad Ali, my only boxing hero. Why? Because of the fact that he beat the American system. He said, I ain't got no quarrel with the Viet Cong. He didn't. Hey, more in America were being done against African Americans than the Viet Congs ever did over there. Truth. So why should he go and fight the Viet Cong? Made sense to me then, makes sense to me now, makes sense to you too. It's politicized. Guess what? It was political from jump, as they say. Wake up, McFly. Wake up, McFly. This is your world I'm talking about. There's no such thing as nothing that's politicized. There's office politics, politics with your significant other, politics with their parents, politics with your friends, politics everywhere. That's life. You should be used to that by now. He says, we already have the Philadelphia Eagles. So, okay. Raiders SP says, I have a friend that's Native American, and he told me that he doesn't find the Redskins offensive, but that was his opinion. Yeah, the whole point is enough people do. You know what? Let's just broom it. I mean, this thing's coming up again and again and again, and I think the Redskins will come out of this. Yeah, right now I'm going to call them the Redskins until they're not. I made that decision a long time ago. There are some people, including in the media, who said they're not going to call the Redskins by their name. They're going to call them the Washington football team. Well, you know what? Look, they're the Redskins. Call them the Redskins until the name is changed, but always advocate for the name change. I mean, no one's going to just change their name by wishing it away when it's all over paraphernalia and everything millions of times a year, right? That's stupid. So why do it? If you don't want it, you want it changed, press them to change it, and that's what's happening because they're going to change it, all right? So the Washington inside traders, I like that. Although it shouldn't be inside traders. I like that. But wait a minute. If you're gonna call them, hold on a second. If you're gonna call them the Washington inside traders, right? I mean, if you're really gonna do that, I really believe that a better name would be, Washington inside traders. It should be insider traders, inside traders. But I think a better name, an absolutely better name would be, a better name would be to just call him Gordon Gekko. The Washington Geckos, in honor of the iconic character played by Michael Douglas, Gordon Gekko, the king of inside traders, as immortalized in the fantastic, legendary 1987 movie Wall Street, one of my favorites. I've seen Wall Street maybe 30-something times. Well, definitely more than 30, but you get the idea, okay? So how about that? There you go, Washington inside traders. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's right. There you are. All right. Coleman says Washington Barons for Washington, D.C. Maybe Cleveland Storm to replace Cleveland Indians. I like that. Cleveland Storm. I like that. That Cleveland Storm could kind of sideways fit with Fantastic Four and Sue Storm, right? Huh? Anyway, Washington Abbott, Ryan Abbott, how you doing? Ryan says, just check the Google News feed and it says they're considering it. What was the source that says they're officially changing it? I will give you that person right now as we talk about this, just so that you're not, in the dark about that stuff. All right. And it was basically, excuse me. Where was it? Wait a minute. Nope. Wait a minute. It was Adam Schefter, but I'm trying to get the specific when he put it out. Trying to get the specific time that he tweeted this out, and for some particular reason, I'm having a hard time finding it. That's what. Hence you're looking at me like, what's he doing? What's he doing? Okay, so that is what's going on. I am looking for. I'm looking for where this started. Let me try this another way. Adam Chef. There it is. I found it. Okay. All right. I found it. All right. Now, scrolling down. Oh, by the way, the NFLPA board wants no preseason games. Hold on, folks. Okay, just hold on a second. All right. This is where it started. Right here. Boom. And here it is. This is on the 3rd. Redskins are undergoing a thorough review of the team name. And let's be clear, says Adam, or writes Adam, or tweets Adam. There's no review if there's no change coming. Redskins on way out. And then he doubled down on that by stating that this is going to occur before or during the preseason. But guess what? There's not going to be a preseason. So this is something that's going to hit the season, period. The NFLPA is saying, no, we are not having a preseason. Wow. The players have spoken. You know what that means? That means stadiums in the NFL and teams already faced their first dose of money lost from ticket sales, especially in hurting the opening of Las Vegas Stadium, owned by Clark County. Its primary tenant, the Las Vegas, formerly Oakland Raiders. Wow. Raiders can't catch a break. They have had bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. This is like the ultimate bad karma trip, man. I mean, pun intended, okay? Pun intended. And Raiders SPS, they haven't changed it yet. No, not yet. John Davis says the Washington Bankers, they got the money. Hey, you know what? So they score a touchdown, right? And they have these like Rockette-like showgirls. Okay, sorry, some people want showgirls and guys. I like girls, so sue me, whatever. The showgirls singing, "We're in the money, we're in the money." Dun, 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 dun. And they would like be at the back of the end zone doing the dance, right? We're in the money, we're in the bankers, we're in the money. Dun, 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 dun. I kind of like that. Jamal Mills, oh man, we're way behind, bro. Jamal says, hello. They should have changed the name to honor natives, maybe Washington natives. That's the second time that's come up. How do you feel about Wedtails, though, by the way? Riot Abbott says, call them Washington Expos after Washington stole the Montreal Expos. I like that idea. I have to ask former Washington Chief Administrative Officer and former Oakland City Manager / Chief Administrative Officer Robert Bob for his view on that. He's asleep right now. I ain't gonna call him to kill me. He's doing waking me up right now, isn't he? Anyway, Raiders SP says they should shorten the season already. They're going to have a hard time. I'm starting to believe that there may not be an NFL season. And I'm starting to hold that because I can't, for the life of me, see. Maybe there will be. The only way, I've said it before and I'll say it again, the only way the NFL gets a full season or anything is if the government comes forward and bails out the league. and bails out hospitality. And the completely inept Trump administration is not doing that at all. It's absolutely disgusting. He's withholding money with this idea that the tighter money is going to set us at each other's throats. We're going to be racially divided and pissed off, so much so that we're not going to vote anybody for office. That's a stupid idea, okay? It's a stupid idea because never in the history of the United States of America has a president, in the modern history after the war, World War II, as they used to call it WW2, right? Has a president ever been elected on the basis of a lousy economy because the economy was bad? No. The way it works is, hey, you know what? The economy is bad. You get out, dude. That's the way it is. So him throwing a choke chain around the economy by doing nothing, by not getting cities the resources they need, by, putting up this jazz about, well, oh, you know what? If we put out too much money, we're going to have to pay it back in higher interest rates eventually. We can fix the damn interest rates. Price controls, okay? We've done it before. We can do it again. So my point is, these folks, they prove what John Kenneth Galbraith, the late Harvard economist and manager of price controls during World War II, said about the Republican Party decades ago. Galbraith wrote that the Republicans have a problem of accusing government of being inept, and then when they take office, doing everything they can to make it so. I give you the current situation. So at any rate, let me continue with you are, okay, we're behind, but I like that too. Got it. He says, I hope not. And then Raiders says, I mean, watching UFC and the Korean Baseball League and golf and NASCAR, but I love NFL. He says, I was actually live basketball today. Oh, there was. I missed it. Not NBA, but college. Oh, I missed it. John Alcala says, you think it's possible the players may wear face shields during the football season if they play? I think that's a great idea that they should, because you want face shields. Gloves are already the standard for many NFL players, right? Even wide receivers, quarterbacks. So to a large degree, it's very easy to protect NFL players on the field with the right type of covering. You want to make sure you have proper ventilation, though. So, but they're going to get hot and overheated. I think I'm of the mind that having football players sweat is a good thing. Now, the question is, what are you going to do with that waste? Okay? Because that sweat off a football player that may very well be infected with a coronavirus means that somebody else gets infected. And then the question is, you have to ask, what's the contact tracing look like for the materials that have the football players sweat, and how much and how far does that contact tracing pattern go beyond the uniform? I mean, let's play a quick game here, right? Let's say that after a game, the player just takes his helmet and his uniform off, he gets a shower, he changes clothes and all that. When somebody has to handle those jerseys. So instead of handling those jerseys with your bare hands, you know what you need now? You need gloves. Okay? You need gloves. You need to make sure that the room itself is sanitized. And the first thing that somebody should do is get Lysol or some sort of automatic spray so that there's aerated, sanitized air throughout the laundry room, and as the clothes go in, because eventually they're going to be going to get clean, right? Once they get clean and get in hot water, you're good to go. It's the transfer from player to that point, and who handles it, that's the main concern. If they don't have stuff like that down, guess what? You're going to have 53 players playing Russian roulette. Who has the coronavirus at any given time during a season? And so that one player can multiply the coronavirus through that person's clothes, not even considering for the moment the other types of human interaction activities they may take on, and those clothes may be improperly handled, and guess what? You have an infection throughout the stadium, right? Coronavirus sticks onto metal, you got another problem. So it's not a good deal. It just isn't. And if somebody dies, and then there's 2 dying, or 3, you know what? Then it becomes a black eye on the National Football League. And I think it's a black eye that the NFL can afford not to have. So Raiders SP says, UFC, they test 3 times and then 1 more time before the fight. How's that working so far? I don't know. And I'm not asking that rhetorically. And Raiders SP says, yep, turn on this. And then he says they can use the N95 face mask. And then adds, at UFC, they test 3 times, then 1 more time before the fight. Cool. And then we got whatever Clever says, infected by the sweat. I haven't heard of that being a way of contracting the virus. When did you hear about that? I haven't been keeping up with the latest findings lately. Well, it stands to reason that if somebody has the coronavirus and you sweat, the sweat is going to come through the virus. Okay. So that's just common sense. I mean, if you're not supposed to look, you touch your face has what? Sweat on it, right? You're not supposed to touch your face. Okay. You've got people wearing gloves. All right. So your sweat glands are from your skin. So it stands to reason that that can happen. I take showers every single day. I've had for, I think the last 35 of my, 40 of my 58 years on this earth, every single day. Okay. Sometimes twice a day. There's one time in Jordan, used to take them 3 times a day in Texas during the summers when I was first down there. Woo! All right. It's the only way to stay cool, and you're a freshman. All right. So Miguel says, I'm sorry. It says, I'm not sure how safe it is to use on the whole body, but will spray antiperspirants work? I've never heard of a spray antiperspirant described as a skin not disinfectant is the word I'm looking for, but desanitizer. You're better off just using simple hand sanitizer. Hey, everybody, welcome to Zenny62 tonight. What do you think about the Redskins name situation? Type it in, and I'll show it. And Raiders says, so far, only 1 fighter has tested positive and had to opt out. Right. And you got to believe that has to do with the kind of precautions that are being taken. Let's go back and, having said that, and look more at this whole, discussion regarding the name situation and, what to expect there. So we've got, thanks for the comment, Raider SP. We've got, I love that. And then the time is now. That's where we left off. And then, woo. And then she says, isn't this you? Oh, wait a minute. Busted. It's sort of. All right. Look at this. All right. Alyssa Milano, who I had the opportunity of interviewing. Yes, I did. In fact, I did have the opportunity of interviewing her, and that just begs the question because I'm just thinking about something. But I'm highlighting her name. All right. I just want to say Alyssa Milano, Zenny62, YouTube. There. Whoops. And NFL. Sorry, folks. I'm just having fun real quick. And videos. See, this is why things blank. Okay. It's like, you know what? She was at the NFL, and if you type Zenny62 YouTube NFL, you should see her on my channel. Yet you don't. You see it. It's lame here. You have to go to YouTube and do the search like that, okay? And then take that out, right? And then this is still garbage. I'm not finding me. Say that's because there's no 2. Still garbage. All right, let me go to my channel. What's going on here? There's my channel. Obviously, I'm live now. And search Alyssa Milano. Excuse me, Zenny62. There. And let's see here. What do we have? I don't like the fact you'd think I did an interview her at the NFL draft, right? And yet I did. And I don't recall taking down NFL draft red carpet there. And then let's say Milano, like that. And there's nothing. I have to go back and find out what's going on. That's something else, because I have to check on that. I know that my that's scary, folks. I had NFL draft videos with her as an interview, and it's not there. NFL draft Zenny 62, NFL draft red carpet 2010 Zenny 62. And this YouTube search is all screwed up, man. There is all of my see, I typed 2010, right? NFL draft red carpet, and it gives me every year but that year. Okay, so let's do that. Fans, Carl Weathers. Sorry, folks, because this is weird. Zenny 62 media NFL draft red carpet. That's 605. I mean, you gotta. Wow. At any rate, I'll come back to it, because what I was looking for, because I'm pretty certain I asked Alyssa what her favorite team was, and that's why I'm doing this exercise. Okay, but at any rate, let me just shift gears here and come back to what we were talking about, which was Twitter and history. Let's go to history, show all history, and then go back to Alyssa. I got off track there, but it was for a good cause. All right, boom, and that's where we were, because what happened was that in the discussion of the Redskins' new name, Ms. Milano wrote, "This cause is close to my heart, right? Not your mascot. Okay, please sign." But then, isn't this you hawking Redskins gear? Ooh, busted. How come the name was just fine then, but now it's offensive? Did you sell all the gear and need a new name to profit from? Ooh, wait a minute. All together now. All together now. Ooh, busted. Oh man. That is rich, okay? That's rich. Because at the time she was doing that for the league, hey, she was wearing NFL gear. Raiders SB says, "Hey, Zenny, what do you think about Kanye West? I like his music." And okay, I got that one. All right. So, folks, I'm going to do this. It is 4:48. I am going to sign off and come back and talk more about this and other NFL news, mainly because I want to find that doggone video. This has really got me going. I know I've got an interview with her. I got to find out what the heck happened there. It should just come up in search. All right. They've been really doing some weird stuff to my YouTube channel. Boy, talking about YouTube, Google. All right. I'll be back. Subscribe to Zenny62, bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com.